Hello students, today we are going to revise our second chapter from Geography, class 9, Physical Features of India. For this chapter we will try to understand the formation of our country. India has all major physical features of the earth, that is mountains, plains, deserts, plateaus and islands. The land of India displays great physical variation. Geologically, the peninsular plateau constitutes one of the ancient land masses on the Earth's surface. The Indias and the northern plains are the most recent landforms. The northern plains are formed of alluvial. India is a vast country with varied landforms, which has all major physical features of the earth. How these physical features formed? There are some theories behind the formation of physical features. One such theory is the theory of plate tectonics. This theory explained that upper part of earth called crust divided into 7 major and some minor plates called tectonic plates. The movement of these plates builds up stresses within the plates and also the continental rocks above, which results in the folding, faulting and volcanic activity. The movement can be classified into 3 types broadly. Convergent boundary. When some plates came towards each other, form convergent boundary, it may lead to either collide and crumble, or one may slide under the other. Divergent boundary. When some plates move away from each other, it forms divergent boundary. Transform boundary. When some plates move horizontally past each other and form transform boundary. The movement of the plates along with the processes such as weathering, erosion and deposition have changed the position and size of the continent over millions of years and also responsible for the evolution of the present landform features of India. The oldest landmass, that is peninsula part of India, was a part of the Gondwana land. So this question comes here, what is a Gondwana land? There was a time when India, Australia, South Africa, South America and Antarctica were one single land mass known as Gondwana land. It was the southern part of the supercontinent Pangaea. Northern part of was known as the Angara land. The earth crust was divided into a number of pieces by convectional currents. The Indo-Australian plate separated from the Gondwana land and drifted towards north, which resulted in the collision of the plate with the much larger Eurasian plate. Due to this collision, the sedimentary rocks which were accumulated in the geocycle known as the Tethys were folded, which resulted in the formation of mountain system of Western Asia and Himalayas. So, according to different variety of land mass, India is divided into different kind of features, number of features, and these are physiographic divisions: the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsular plate, the Indian deserts, the coastal plains, the islands. The Himalayan mountains are stretched over the northern borders of India. These mountain ranges run in a west-east direction from the Indus to the Brahmaputra. The Himalaya consists of three parallel ranges in its longitudinal extent. The northernmost range is known as the Great or Inner Himalayas or the Himadri. It is the most continuous range, consisting of the loftiest peaks with an average height of 6,000 meters. The folds of the Great Himalayas are asymmetrical in nature. The core of this part of Himalayas is composed of granite. The range lying to the south of the Himadri forms the most rugged mountain system and is known as Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. Pir Panjal range forms the longest and the most important range. The outermost range of the Himalayas is called the Shivaliks. These ranges are composed of unconsolidated sediments. The longitudinal valley lying between Lesser Himalayas and the Shivalik are known as dunes. Dehradun, Kotli Dun and Patli Dun are some of the well-known dunes. The Himalayas have also been divided into the basis of regions from west to east. The part of Himalayas lying between Indus and Satluj has been traditionally known as Punjab Himalaya, but it is also known regionally as Kashmir and Himachal Himalaya from west to east respectively. The part of the Himalayas lying between Satluj and Kali rivers is known as Kumaon Himalayas. The Kali and Teesta rivers divide the Nepal Himalayas, and the part lying between Teesta and Deang river is known as the Assam Himalayas. The Brahmaputra marks the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. Beyond the Deang Gorge and the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of India, which is known as the Purvanchal or the eastern hills and mountains. The Purvanchal comprises the Patkai Hills and Naga Hills and Manipur Hills and Mizo Hills. Now after that we will try to understand the northern plains where Brahmaputra enters and west side Indus. The northern plains has been formed by the interplay of the three major river systems, the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra, along with their tributaries. It spreads over an area of 7 lakh square kilometers. The northern plains are broadly divided into 3 sections as mentioned. Not here, I am explaining. The western part of the northern plains is referred to as the Punjab Plains. This plain is formed by the Indus and its tributaries, the Jhelum and Chenab, the Ravi and Beas, and the Satluj. The Ganga Plains extends between Ghaggar and Teesta rivers. It is spread over the states of North India, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, partly Jharkhand and West Bengal. Brahmaputra Plains lies in the state of Assam. According to the variation in the elevation points, the northern plains can be divided into 4 regions. The river, after descending from the mountains, deposit pebbles in a narrow belt of about 8 to 16 kilometers width, lying parallel to the slopes of the Shivalik which is known as Bhavar. All the streams disappear in the Bhavar belt. The streams, the river re-emerges and create a wet, swampy and marshy region known as Dharai. The longest part of the northern plains is formed of the older alluvium. It lies above the floodplains of the rivers and presents a terrace-like features which is known as Vangar. The soil in the Vangar region contains calcareous deposits and is known as the Kankar, and newer younger deposits of the floodplains are called Khadar. After this, students, we will try to understand how the peninsular plateau formed. The peninsular plateau is a tableland composite of the old crystalline, igneous and metamorphic rocks. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land. The plateau consists of two broad divisions, the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. The Central Highlands lies to the north of the Narmada River, converging a major areas of the Malabar Plateau. The Central Highlands, it lies to the north of the Narmada River, covering a major areas of the Malabar Plateau. The Vidyan Range is bounded by the Central Highlands of the south and the Aravallis of the northwest. The further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and rocky deserts of Rajasthan. Rivers in the areas the Chambal and the Sindh and Betwa and Kain. The Central Highlands are wider in the west but narrower in the east. The eastward extensions of this plateau are locally known as the Bundelkhand and Baghelkhand. The Chota Nagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension, drained by the Damodar River. The Deccan Plateau, it is a triangular landmass that lies to the south of the river Narmada. The Satpura Range bound its broad base in the north, while the Mahadev, the Kaimur Hills and the Makal Range from the eastern extensions. It is higher in the west and slopes gently towards. An extension of Deccan Plateau is also visible in the northeast, locally known as the Meghalaya, Karvi, Anglong Plateau, and North Kochar Hills. It is separated by a fault from the Chota Nagpur Plateau. 3. Prominent hill range from the west to east are the Garo, the Khasi, and the Jaintia Hills. A distinct feature of peninsular plateau is the black soil area known as Deccan Trape. The Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats mark the western and the eastern edge of the Deccan Plateau, respectively. The Indian Desert. The Indian Desert lies towards the western margins of the Aravalli Hills. It is a land of undulating and topography covered with the sand dunes. This region receives very low rainfall, below 150 mm per year. It has arid climate with low vegetation cover. Luni is the only large river in this region. Branches cover larger areas, but longitudinal dunes become more prominent area. The Indo-Pakistan boundary, the coastal plains, the narrow coastal strips flank the peninsular plateau, running along the Arabian Sea on the west and the Bay of Bengal on the east. It consists of three sections. Northern part of the coastal is called the Konkan, Mumbai, Goa. Central stretch is called the Kannad Plains, and southern state is called the Malabar Coast. The plain along the Bay of Bengal east part are wide and level. The northern part is known as the Northern Sircar, while the southern part is known as the Coromandel Coast. Large rivers such as the Mahanadi, the Godavari, the Krishna, and the Kaveri have formed extensive delta and on eastern coast. Lake Chilka is an important feature along the eastern coast. The islands, the Lakshadweep Islands group in the Arabian Sea is close to Kerala. This group of islands is composed of small coral islands. The Lakshadweep Islands were earlier known as Lokadev, Minikau, and Amendev. It covers a small area of 32 kilometers squares. Kaveri Islands is the administrative headquarters of the Lakshadweep. The Piti Island, which is uninhabited, has a bird sanctuary. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are an elongated chain of the islands located on the Bay of Bengal. They are bigger in size and are more numerous and scattered. The entire group of islands is divided into two broad categories: the Andaman in the north and the Nicobar in south. These islands are an elevated portion of submarine mountains.